If you want to see me draw this, then stay tuned. So this drawing ended up being a happy little surprise because it was done a couple weeks ago in an Adobe stream, and I had no art prepped for that live stream. I like to have at least maybe a sketch done beforehand just so I know what I'm doing when I jump into the stream, but I had no clue. I had minutes until the stream was starting, and this idea just came to me of a girl upside down, hair dangling, with stuff that she likes inside of her hair. And so kind of just pulled that out of nowhere, and it ended up being a really cute idea, and I really like the style and how it turned out. I don't know, like I said, it's just a happy accident, came out of nowhere, and I'm like, this is actually really nice. This is like one of my favorite things, so yay. Also, what I did differently to save me time is that I did the sketch right on my marker paper, which I never do. I knew it was somewhat simple and that it wouldn't require a lot of erasing because it's just a headshot. There's no anatomy or anything that I'm gonna have to erase a million times till it looks semi-decent, so I sketched directly on the marker paper using my Prismacolor col-erase. And I know they claim to be erasable, but they're only semi-erasable. And so I was still taking a bit of a risk by doing this, but it kind of worked out. There were a couple things I did erase, like that marble. I ended up moving it. I drew a bottle of nail polish, and then I decided I wanted to do a ring pop instead, so I erased the nail polish bottle. So like, you know, the erasing worked well enough, especially since I wasn't pushing terribly hard, but I tend to have a heavy hand, so I was a little nervous, but it worked out, and I didn't want to ink this either. I wanted it to have pencil outlines because I love the look of that. I mean, I love the look of ink as well, but sometimes just having those brown pencil outlines looks really, really good. So that's what I wanted to do for this, which saved me the inking step altogether, so yay. Because I actually managed to finish this picture in its entirety during that 4-hour stream, so yay! The overall color scheme is somewhat pastel, not too dark of shadows, and I did sort of the pastel pink hair and then just other random pastel colors throughout. And I did my usual thing where there's a lot of different objects here in this scene, and I don't want the thing to just look all rainbowy and like the colors don't really belong. If you have a lot of objects and you want your picture to feel more cohesive, even if you don't have a lot of objects, reuse colors everywhere. Like, for example, I might make the fries yellow, so I'm like, okay, there's yellow here. I need to use yellow somewhere else in the picture in as many places as possible, just so everything kind of ties in together. And so I reused a lot of the same colors everywhere, and there are certain colors I didn't use, like I didn't use oranges, for example, just to help limit it a little bit. For this picture, I really like the style of her face. Like, oh, just the eyes I love. They're big, and I just like the shape of them, and the way I drew them is just, I like it. And especially her lips. Her lips turned out so nicely. Like, I feel like I want to draw lips like this all the time. I didn't outline the upper or bottom lip, I just did it in color, and the bottom lip is much smaller than the top lip in width. It's much thicker, but it's not as wide, and I think that looks so cute. And so I don't know, that turned out really well. That was a really great discovery. I was like, I like the way this looks. I need to do this more. You'll see me darkening stuff as I go because the initial lines weren't dark enough, and when you do color on top of them, they lighten slightly as well. So I would color something in and then I'd go back with my pencil to darken it and emphasize the lines. And for her eyes, I actually went over with black after, not just brown, because when I draw eyes, I really like the eyelashes and eyelid to be black. It just helps the eyes pop more, especially since I like to shade the top of the eye really dark. And that's like my rule is whatever the shadows are on the top of the eye, the outline of the eye has to be darker than that. And so that's what I use as my little trick, I guess, so that it doesn't look too weird. I know this picture feels somewhat 90s, but that's not actually what I was going for. Otherwise, I would have put in more stuff that was blatantly 90s. It was more just like, okay, here's a girl and here's the stuff that she likes, kind of trying to show a bit of her personality. And she's just a random character though, so she has no backstory or anything. It's just a random girl I drew, and so this stuff is kind of random. I just thought back a little bit to my childhood and just stuff that I thought would be fun to draw or that would look good. Like sometimes I drew small things just because they fit, like that penny that I drew up by her ear. That's really just to fill the space. And so yeah, that's the reason behind some of my decisions. I also tried to make everything look like knockoffs, like those aren't McDonald's fries. There's a B on it for Bailey, so you know it's not McDonald's. And then the Pokemon card is just a fake Pokemon, that kind of thing. The Tamagotchi, like I didn't use reference because I didn't want it to look 100% accurate. Like the button placement is different, stuff like that. I didn't use any reference for any of this. I was kind of just flying off the top of my head, trying to see what I could come up with. It was like I was just, whipping out the first thing that came to mind, and it actually turned out good, so yay. This picture is up in my Redbubble shop, so if you want like a print or a sticker, phone case, whatever, it is there on the shop, and the link is in the video description as always. Now going back to the idea of using colors in multiple places, with her hair, it was a very dusty pink, borderline purplish pink, but her skin is such a peachy pink, it's borderline orange, and so the colors were conflicting. So I decided to take a peachy pink and add that throughout the hair so that it goes with her skin a little bit better, because it just looked like it was too drastically different. So right around here, the coloring just suddenly jumps and a lot of the stuff is mostly colored. I don't know why that happened. I'm assuming I forgot to press record at one point because I'm not missing any clips. So that must be what happened. I feel like this would be a really cool idea to do with yourself. So if you feel like drawing yourself with your hair hanging down, even if it's short, and then put in some stuff that you like. If your hair is really short, the stuff could just be falling out of your hair. I don't know. However you want to go about it, because it's a neat idea of something to personalize, right? To make it you, or make it a friend of yours and give the picture to them. Something like that. Instead of just being this random pink-haired chick, it could be you. Maybe you are a random pink-haired chick. I don't know. here's the finished picture. I just think it's so fun and cute. I think it was a success. And I just want to remind you, there's prints in my shop if you're interested in that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video.